Hi all, welcome to Trans Day of Visibility 2021, COVID style, yeah! I'd like to kick off by doing a quick shout out to non-binary people who are not trans. Today is for you as well. I'm sorry that you don't have a day that's really for you, but take advantage of today as well. Trans spaces, even if you do not identify with that umbrella, you're still welcome to those spaces, and I'm sorry that there isn't more space and acceptance and awareness of non-binary people who are not trans. For any trans people who don't have visibility, who are invisible, whether that's because you're stealth, whether you're not out yet, whether you're questioning, I hope today is not overwhelming. I hope today is actually a comfort. That you find some people that you can really admire and see that visibility of trans, and that trans is okay. And if you're worried about coming out, if you're worried about how people will see you, that there's a lot of us out there, that we can live good, flourishing lives, and that you're not alone. Also, to trans people who do live stealth, that's fine. You absolutely get to do that if that is what is comfortable for you. Being visible is not always a choice, but when it is, it's not something that you have to feel bad about not choosing. You do not owe anyone 24/7 advocacy if that's not what you want to do. Also shout out to trans people who are too visible and who do have to do that 24/7 self-advocacy work, who are perhaps the trans person in your workplace or school or whatever it is. Yeah, it's hard. But today is a day of celebration for trans people to be visible and to sort of broaden that acceptance and understanding of trans people. With that in mind, here's a little bit about me, about my trans experience. I'm Kian Hall. I'm 27 years old, which I had to check before starting this video because I never remember how old I am anymore. I'm at that age, I guess. I am trans, gender fluid, and non-binary. Those are all sort of little nesting eggs that sit within each other for me. So I am trans because I'm non-binary, I'm non-binary because I'm gender fluid, but anyone can be any one of those labels without any of the others. A lot of non-binary people do not identify as trans, a lot of us do. Not every gender fluid person identifies as non-binary or trans. Some will identify as just trans and not non-binary, some will identify as just non-binary, they're not trans, and obviously not all trans people are non-binary or gender fluid. So, fun facts for you there. I first came out as trans at about 19, 18 years of age. At the time, I didn't know that non-binary really existed, so I came out as binary, binary trans. I lived as binary trans male for about 4 years before realizing and accepting that I was gender fluid. Took me a little bit longer after realizing that to actually come out as that, because it was just more frightening for me to be non-binary and to be gender fluid than to be binary. There's a lot of complicated reasons for that, which I won't get into on this video. I'm also a Neopronoun user, so my pronouns are they, them, their. I really love Neopronouns. I took a long time deciding on these ones. I tried other pronouns. I tried they, them, I tried he, him, I tried mixing it up with she, her, he, him, they, them. None of it really worked. They, them for me is too gender neutral. I'm not neutral in my gender at all. I am very gender. And so for me, they, them just didn't feel right. It didn't click. I do also use he, him pronouns, but my main pronouns are they, them, their. I chose them because they're pretty simple. They're just the they, them pronouns grammatically, but with Z instead of TH. So they're quite easy to figure out. You don't have to sort of learn how to do conjunctions with them or anything like that. It's just they, them, their. You know how to use them. It's just a matter of wrapping your head around it. And yeah, for me, they elicit gender euphoria. It just feels right. It sort of matches in quite well for me with my little gender chaotic thing. Yeah, I find there's a lot of stigma against neopronouns, but the fact is, the English language in particular is very fluid. It is constantly evolving and adapting, and so to be against it adapting for accommodating variety of people, I just don't quite get that. It's the English language, it's fluid, it's constantly adapting, it is constantly changing. So to stand against it, you're really just standing against it because it is about making space for different people, and I think that's a problem that you need to address if you have an issue with neopronouns. Figure out where that issue comes from, and if it's really an issue that you just want to live with and put on other people, because I'm not hurting anyone by using neopronouns. They work for me, they are right for me. Some fun facts about me, because today is about visibility of trans people, and I think it's important to be visible in more than just trans ways. I like bow ties, as you can see, they're cool. So I've got this one, I've got a nice really vibrant blue one, I've got a black one, I've got a little white one, and I've got a really cheap dodgy rainbow one, which I'll wear it, but it's real cheap and dodgy. It's still cool, it's still rainbow, so I'm still happy I have it, but yeah, even on today I wasn't willing to put it on. I was like, nah, it's just defiling my gorgeous shirt, I can't do it. I have hyperflexible Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder. I've injured my wrist at the moment, not through doing anything, just through being hyperflexible. It just extends beyond what it actually can do, and then eventually that sort of builds up to being an injury. And yeah, I have no coordination in my left hand, so I still kind of need to use my right hand for everything, and it's taking a really long time to heal because it's not resting. I'm also an ADHDer, which makes rest really hard. Does not happen. I do not rest. I don't know what that word means. I love wax melts. They're just really nice. I've always really found smells comforting. So wax melts are just delightful, and I treat myself with a lot of them. I have a greyhound named Willow with my non-binary sibling who I live with out in regional Victoria. I also have 3 pet rats that I named after Greek deities. So there's Artemis, there's Demeter, and there's Tiki, who I don't actually know how to pronounce her name, but I just go Tiki. Researched, there was a lot of different opinions about how to say that name. It's Tyche, and it's ancient Greek, so it's like... I quite like mythology. Greek mythology, ancient Greek mythology obviously is fun, hence I named my rats after Greek deities, but I think Norse mythology is my favourite purely because Loki. Very original there, but I do identify as transmasc, genderfluid, and it just, I don't know, feels very matched in with Loki, so it's very fun to just sort of see that's pretty much how I identify my gender. That's awesome. I don't think I'm quite as much of a rat bag as Loki, but you know, goals, I'm working there. I'm a creative writer and actor, well, aspiring actor. I was part of the Escape Velocity project, which I'll throw a link in below, so you can check out the Escape Velocity project if you're interested. It's about young trans and gender diverse people, and yeah, it was really amazing to be a part of that project. The final stage is coming out soon, and then that'll pretty much be it, I think, which is a bit sad, but yeah, it's been an amazing experience working with so many young trans and gender diverse people, and yeah, being an older person in that space was a bit interesting because I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and so I'm not really used to being the oldest. The elder of the group. Yeah, so that was interesting, and I look like a baby, so it was quite funny. I never get perceived as an older person in a space. Like, I could go to kindy and pretty much be mistaken as a student, I feel sometimes. Like, it's very frustrating. I still get carded. I'm 27 years old and I've been denied service with my photo ID. So I know I've got a baby face. It's a problem. As far as my writing goes, creatively speaking, I'm working on my first novel, which is a young adult modern fantasy with gothic influences set in regional Victoria. I've sort of worked on that line for quite some time now and sort of adding the right words, taking out the wrong words, etc. And so I've sort of perfected the line, but now it just sounds very robotic, and now I've got to figure out the delivery to actually make it sound okay. Yeah, so that novel has been in progress for a while because I have a lot of chronic fatigue issues, so it's quite hard to actually work on it consistently. I've also had a few poems published. I've read one of those, so if you check out my videos, I've got a reading of one of the poems that I wrote called Lipstick and Binders, which is about being gender fluid and gender euphoria, gender dysphoria, private spaces, public spaces, sort of all of that mixed into one poem, which was published on NB Life along with my poem Brood. And then I've also got another poem which is out, which is about the intersection of being trans and disabled. And so it's more of a medical sort of setting, which was published in Cordite Poetry Review. I also had a blog. I'm hoping to get back into it at some point, but it's on indefinite hiatus at the moment. Just due to fatigue issues, due to spoons. I'm just too tired to keep up with it at the moment. I've had some hits to my health that have sort of taken me back a bit. Catching my breath, and yeah, hoping to get them sorted eventually. It is hard work though. I hope everyone has a great Trans Day of Visibility, and yeah, be COVID safe in your celebrations. Share a selfie, talk about yourselves a bit, just be as visible or as invisible as you feel safe and as you want to do today. To any allies who are watching, or people questioning, or whatever, yeah, celebrate trans voices, share, uplift us. Being visible is hard work, it's exhausting. Being invisible is hard work, it's exhausting. So yeah, be gentle on trans people that you know today and every day. Alright, see yous. This is still a very new channel at the moment, so if you could like this video, subscribe, leave a comment, that would all be amazing. Hoping to sort of stick with it this time, but it may well go the way of the blog, so we'll see. Hopefully I can, yeah, stick with this video, this YouTube channel, this vlog, and keep it going, but we will see together, I guess. Alright, see yous.